that the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan with effect from 6 March 2025 from all legislative activities forthwith. That her office be locked up for the duration of her suspension and hand over all Senate properties in her possession to the clerk of the National Assembly. That for the duration of her suspension, she cannot come or be seen within the vicinity of the National Assembly, including her staff. That her salaries and allowances, including those of her legislative aides, be suspended and withdraw of all security details for the duration of her suspension. And 7, that for the period of her suspension, she be barred from representing herself to the public, locally and internationally, as the Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
No reversal of Natasha's suspension, Senate insists. Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Politics on Naija Anchor News. Today, we'll be looking at how Senate uphold Akpoti-Uduaghan's suspension, rejects court intervention. The drama in Nigeria's political landscape continues as the Senate stands firm on its decision to suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months, shutting down any attempt to overturn the suspension. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has now taken the battle a step further by questioning the Federal High Court's authority to intervene, sparking a heated debate over the separation of powers and the limit of legislative autonomy. But here is the big question: can the Senate truly operate without external oversight, or is this a dangerous overreach? Who has the final say? The Nigeria Senate argues that it is acting within legal framework and upholding its internal rules. Lawmaker insists that the chamber has the constitutional right to discipline its member without interference, but there have been multiple instances in Nigeria history where external forces, including the federal government and political elites, have influenced how the Senate and other legislative bodies function. Historically, Nigeria's constitution have structured the Senate in a way that allows federal influence. For example, in the 1960 constitution, some senators were directly nominated by the central government to represent federal interests. This pattern continued in various forms, with party leadership and federal authorities playing a significant role in determining who holds key legislative positions. Critics argued that without judicial oversight, there's a risk of unchecked power where the Senate could punish members for political reasons rather than legitimate misconduct. This raises concern about due process. If the judiciary is unable to review Senate's decision, who then ensures that disciplinary action are fair and not politically motivated? In a democracy, no arm of government should be above accountability. The judiciary, by design, exists to interpret the law and protect citizens' rights, even when those citizens happen to be elected lawmakers. There is a struggle between the legislature and judiciary. At its core, this case is more than just a suspension. It is a test of power between Nigeria's legislative and judicial arms. By insisting that the courts have no say, the Senate is essentially drawing a line in the sand, asserting that parliamentary independence dropped judicial oversight. But is this a valid constitutional stance or an attempt to sidestep scrutiny? Legal experts warn that if the courts back down, the Senate could set a dangerous precedent where it becomes both judge and jury in disciplining its own members. If the lawmakers can be suspended indefinitely without an avenue for legal regards, what stops future Senates from using this power to silence oppositions? And for Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan and her supporters, this is far from the end of the road. The case now rests with Justice Obiora Ugwatu, who has adjourned proceedings until March 25, 2025. Until then, Nigerians will be closely watching to see whether the judiciary asserts its authority or bows to legislative supremacy. Regardless of the outcome, one thing is clear: this case could redefine the balance of power in Nigeria's democracy. Will the court stand up to the Senate, or will this suspension mark a new era where the lawmakers are beyond legal challenge? Let's hear your view in the comments, and stay tuned to Let's Talk Politics on Naija Anchor News.